Oh, who's left my line with this one, huh? So welcome to today's video. As you may see, this video isn't as long as it's supposed to be. This is because this is a small snippet, a teaser of the bigger video that is soon to come. If you don't know, I've been doing this project since the start of June. It was kind of a random, thing that I wanted to do. I've been wanting to do commentary videos for a minute just to kind of spice up the channel a little. And well, instead of making my introduction literally anything else, I decided I would do a Hazbin Hotel ranking and reviewing, as well as rating the songs and doing a curse word count that, as you can see in this video, didn't work out well since somebody did it before me and they had a different count than me. So basically just comparing contrasting counts until the end of the video. But yeah, this is the episode 1. I am going to use this footage for the main video. I was going to not, but then I realized this is just way too funny, and I spent too much time editing this to even just redo the entire thing. Because, if people like it, I'll use it. And if people want to see more of this, I will happily drop the full video, which is going to happen anyway. It's already in the works, and I just need to kind of do voiceovers for everything else. But I hope you all enjoy. I hope this video makes your day, and I hope that you listen to this while you're working, doing your schoolwork, literally anything. And then once the bigger video drops, I hope that, the brain rot that I went through, helps you get through the rest of your days. But anyway, yeah, I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of this just chopped video. So the first episode gives us some groundwork for the world, basically starting off with Lucifer, who had some creative ideas, but people didn't like listening to him because they're mostly about free will. Ooh, I know, it's crazy. Like, imagine free thinking in the Europe of the word. Yeah, they didn't like it, so they kind of like took him out of their lunch table and put him in the corner with like the quiet kids and the weirdos. But then we have a scene between Adam and Lilith. Not Eve, she's not here yet, we'll get to that later, but this is not the only change in the story, because instead of Adam, being nonchalant, cool, chill, he wants control of the relationship. He doesn't have a job, he doesn't pay rent, there's no houses, so Lilith just leaves. I mean, I really don't know what he expected, like, come on, bro. But in her travels, she meets up with Lucifer. Lucifer pitches her this idea of free will and all that, all his stuff, his creative thinking, and they fall in love and try to spread this thought of free will by offering Eve the forbidden apple that got both Adam and Eve kicked out of the Garden of Eden, if that is what it's called, right? The Garden of Eden? Yeah, I think so. Yes, someone correct me down in the comments. But basically, through this action, hell was created, which is kind of crazy. Imagine handing a homeless man like $5 and telling him he could do anything, and then he proceeds to commit a spree of crimes in your name. Like, that's insane. Even though that's not really what happened, it's still insane. And what's even more insane? The fact that through this action, this unintentional action, both Lilith and Adam get sent to, not Lilith and Adam, Lilith and Lucifer get sent to hell. Yeah, they're both gone. This really kills Lucifer's vibe because he doesn't get to see the good he's done. He only gets to see Hitler and soon to be Kanye West down there. But Lilith, on the other hand, thrives off of this and tries to build up hell with her songs and all that. But heaven sees this as a bad thing because, imagine being a slave owner in the 1800s and seeing that there's this woman upbringing all the slaves and they don't want them overtaking them. Listen, there's been a lot. Listen, it's been 5 seconds. I made, 2 jokes that don't make any sense to the lore of the story. Listen, this show has tilted me. Let me have this joke, okay? But yeah, they see this as a bit of a thing. They might uprise and overpower them, so every year they come down and kill sinners to prevent this from happening. Which puts us here with Charlie, the daughter of Lilith and Lucifer, followed by her girlfriend, Vaggie, who I didn't know was her girlfriend until episode 5. Yeah, kind of embarrassing out of me. And for this series, as well as any other Vivzy Pop production, maybe, possibly, I don't know how it is for Hazbin. A hell of a boss, because, well, there's more episodes to that, and honestly, it was enough to do this. It was absolutely agonizing. I decided that I would count every time there was swear words, and I'm recording this after I did that outro for the teaser, and after I realized the fact that my numbers were all wrong. So I will still give you the count that I have and all that, because, it's there, it's still sort of relevant. But in editing, I might just put the actual number that's there, and at the very end, I will use the counts from those videos instead of my own, since, mine are going to be wrong. So yeah, we'll just compare and contrast, see how wrong I was. But yes, I counted every single curse word in this entire script. Because, for some unknown reason, every time we say a word, we have to include it with a swear for some reason. And funny thing is, every time I say swear word, I sound like a 5-year-old. Curse word, that seems like a better way to go about it. So, both Charlie and Vaggie have a girl-to-girl talk about the extermination that is currently happening behind them. And we find out that Charlie hasn't seen her mom in the last 7 years, which she isn't really pressed about, since she's more or less worried about her own project. But yes, it's the damn hotel. Listen, it's the name of it, and plus it's in the pilot that you probably haven't seen for 5 years. Yeah, it's old. And no, I'm not covering it in this video. I was going to, but then I saw it was 30 minutes, and I'm already at the ending point of this video, and honestly, I don't think anyone will care, and if I get anything wrong, someone will go down the comments. I already got the curse word count wrong, so, you know, someone's gonna go down in the comments and, you know, beat the shit out of me for getting something wrong. It's fine. It's fine. And not to mention, you can even tell me, like, oh yeah, all those in the pilot. I've even heard there's lore in live streams that I have to watch. No. Listen, I'll explain lore that happens in this show, and that's all I'm gonna go for. Alright, cool. But we get to meet Alistair, who shows them one of the commercials of all time, and they obviously don't like it, saying that the tone is off, and it doesn't even explain to the people what they're supposed to be doing to show that the hotel is supposed to show that they can repent and be good people. Which, let me get to my first tangent here. Alistair doesn't really care, and it doesn't make sense to hire the one person who doesn't like being on TV to do this. Like, it's a bit foolish that's the equivalent to asking a car salesman to go sell, like, pumpkin pies or something. Actually, maybe they could. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's kind of like polar opposites. You would want somebody to do that anyway. But we later find out either way that people do like radio, and they even have people who do TV stuff anyway. So they hired the worst person and then gave him the worst job for this. And it's not like they're doing anything. Like, their one resident's a grown man, which, if you don't know who the one resident is the person on the couch over here. The name is Angel Dust. I'm sure everyone has a negative, like, what's it called? The connotation of their character, if that's the right word of using it. Because they taught like a 15-year-old in a furry Discord server. They sound like they want to be pegged every 5 minutes. It is absolutely horrid sometimes. And they're all about sex. But let me just say this. I don't know if it's because every other character in this show, at least most of them, don't have enough screen time, are written poorly, or are just horrible people. But Angel Dust is in my top 3 characters this entire show. I genuinely like Angel Dust as a character after watching through the entire show. His character is not bad, and not as bad, and probably because I had the expectation high of he's just going to be a weirdo the entire show, and he really wasn't, in my opinion. I could be wrong, once again. Oh my god. Opinions are subjective, so I mean it's kind of whatever. You know, you could say that I'm a lion pizza chip, but you know it's fine, it's whatever. But along with that, we have the only one of the 3. Do we consider Vaggie a worker? I'll consider Vaggie a worker. Yeah, we have one of the other co-workers here named Husk, who is voiced by Keith David. I feel like I recognize this name, but like I just don't know from what. But yeah, he's another one of my top 3 characters. He's an awesome guy. I'm pretty sure a lot of people like him because, you know, he isn't just, you know, yeah, I'm sure. But he's not even here because he wants to be here. He's here because Alistair is forcing him to be here. And then there's Nifty. I don't know how to feel about Nifty. Like, her first line in the show is, "I like being forced," and she looks like a 12-year-old. I don't know if this was an oversight by the creators of this show, but that just freaked me out. But she's like 80. So, I mean, yeah, but she still looks like a child. It's the equivalent to when people were talking about, you know, the Penny Parker having art. Don't ask me about this, okay? But yeah, like Penny Parker bikinis or something in like Marvel Rivals. It's like, oh yeah, we can have it because she's canon 18-year-old, but I still wouldn't feel comfortable because she looks like a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? But on top of all of this, Angel asks, why doesn't Alistair just force everyone to be at the hotel if he's in support of this cause as well? Which he could do that, but Vaggie says that they should want to be there, not be forced to, because then it just seems unsincere, which, you know, is fair. And it also would help if they, you know, wanted to be there so they don't get slaughtered every year, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We get to the fun part of this video. The part where I get to rank the songs in these episodes, which I'm not ranking them on a tier list. I'm just going to give them a number rating. And once again, music is subjective. So if I give a music a rating, maybe you'll like the song more than me, which then I recommend. I'm going to be naming off every single song in this show, giving it my rating, and you can go look it up. I'm sure it is everywhere by now. And go listen to them. There's only one song in this video I think I recommend, and we'll get to it, because it's the only one that made it into my playlist. So you can already tell that this first song, which is called A Happy Day in Hell, it's, you know, it's a song that takes place after Charlie gets a call from her dad and gets to go to a meeting with the exorcists, who are the people that come down every year and slaughter every one of the angels. Not angels, the sinners. So then, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure you know what I mean. But yeah, she goes down the streets of Detroit basically singing, and I give this song a solid 5. I do think it's really funny seeing all, like, the people on the streets getting set on fire, killed, you know, eating people alive on the streets, the weird bug creature telling Charlie that he can touch his nads or whatever, which I don't know why that's a thing. But I just didn't like the song itself. I mean, I thought it was alright. But it's, you know, it's just not my cup of tea. Yeah, so it gets a 5 out of me. Now we meet with Adam, who I've seen voices 4 characters in the Vivzy Pop cinematic universe. And I won't lie to you, this guy is a D1 rage baiter.
It's nice to meet you.
Totally. Nice to meet you too.
Oh.
Ah, I fucking got you. Did you fucking see that? Good shit.
I'm surprised Charlie did not throw a haymaker at this guy, even though, and this is something I didn't notice when I was writing the script at this time, so I'm gonna go off here a little bit. Adam is supposed to be a hologram in this scene, right? It's, you know, if I played the scene already out to show that he's a rage baiter, then you'll know what I mean. But it's weird that no one can touch him, but he can touch everything. It's kind of weird how they go about it, because there's a later song where he's singing and he kicks Charlie out of the room by grabbing her. He also fist bumps Lute, who, by the way, that is Lute next to him, like, you know, what, second in command? Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, second in command. But I just kind of don't get, oh my god, what he is. It's just really weird. I don't get it. You know? Oh my god, it's just stupid. But yeah, no. He's a leader. He's the leader of the Exorcist. You know, first man. I feel like to bring this up. This is the first man, Adam. But after, you know, Charlie gets rage baited for the second time in a row, we cut back to the hotel where they are trying to remake it. Yo. Okay. Who let me into the booth? Jesus Christ. Yo. Like, it is, the worst part is, that wasn't even as a joke. I genuinely started that fucking bat. Oh my god. Oh, okay, let's try that again. Oh, okay. So, we come back to the hotel where they try to remake the commercial, and we know how that goes. Everyone is fumbling the bag, but I do think it's really funny that Hus says he can't remember the lyrics because he isn't really an actor, even though, you know, he is an actor. Get it? Because, like, you know, he's actually an actor, you know. Yeah, that's pretty funny, isn't it? That's a pretty funny bit out of me, you know. I thought that was hilarious, but, you know, that's just me. I find these stupid things funny, you know. But we come back to the meeting between Adam and Charlie, and then, oh yeah, this is the part where I re-mentioned that Charlie finds out that this is the original Adam, which I thought was obvious, which is why I pointed it out earlier. You know, why do we write these things? Why? Why did we write this? Why did we do this? I didn't want this. You didn't want this. Nobody wants this. Anyway, we come back to the hotel, and we get probably the funnest. If I stutter one more time reading this script, I'm gonna lose it. But before we, if I say but before, is I I'm leaving this all in the video. I'm leaving it all in. If I Yo. Okay. But after we cut back to the hotel, we get probably the funniest scene in the show so far.
Cleanest rooms, okay?
Got it. I'm ready.
Action. Cut.
How was that?
Well, Nifty, you actually have to say the line, so let's roll again.
Okay.
Action.
But Vaggie is going through it since this is the equivalent to babysitting while trying to study for an exam. But then Alistair proposes a deal. Since he knows this isn't going to work out, which we also get a bit of lore, you can't record him, which we'll get back to this later because this makes no sense at all. He says that he'll be helpful as long as he doesn't have to deal with the TV bullshit anymore. Which is a solid deal that won't have any consequences. Isn't it foreshadowing, by the way? There really isn't any consequences to this deal. That's just his terms and conditions. But back with Charlie. She tells him that she has to fix the issue with overpopulation in hell. Which they obviously think there's nothing wrong with their method since, you know, it's fun to kill people in hell. And if they're in hell for a reason. You know? Yeah. Murder on my rhyme. WNBA Melly or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. But the only reason she's really up there talking to them is because she has a pardon due to Lucifer. But then Charlie has to go into the music number because she's running low on time and, you know, she needs to let them all know in a quick way. But they really don't get to explain it since, you know, Adam, you know, being the dick he is, switches the song to Hell is Forever and, yeah, says, "Fuck you, Charlie. I hate you. I am going to actually move this timestamp, you know, not the time, the deadline from 1 year to 6 months. I was gonna say an hour. I don't know why. Yeah, to 6 months. Throws her out onto the streets. This song gets a 7 because it sounds like a Living Tombstone song, and I'm not putting it in my playlist unless there's a Living Tombstone remix. So yeah, I win again. W me. But when Charlie gets back, she finds out the gang made the commercial that they were looking for. And we don't even get to watch it, but I am going to point this out. There's a thing, right, where you remember when I told you Alistair literally says he can't, you know, you can't really record him and he didn't want to be in the commercial? Why is he in this commercial? We're just never going to address that. It's like the equivalent to writing this down, like, oh yes, these are the rules, and then literally immediately negating that rule within 5 seconds. It's just stupid. But then we get a news segment where we get to see the full commercial with our GOAT, Brandon Rogers. God, I love that guy. I love him. And also, if this entire, you know, the big video, maybe even this one does really well, I'll cover Hell of the Boss as well. But yeah, that's the end of the first episode with a curse word count of 47. That was my count.